A phone call can be a great way to keep in touch with friends or family, but there are some phone numbers that you should simply never call. All of the phone numbers in this video are real and incredibly scary. I don't recommend you guys call any of them, but if you do, then let me know how the call goes. 09044444444. This phone number comes from Japan. If you don't live in Japan, you can't call this number unless you use the country code, which is 81. In Japan, this number is known as Sadako's number. Japanese people say this number is so scary that you should never call it. There are 8 fours in this number, and in Japanese, 4 is she. This word is very similar to the Japanese word for death. Those who have called this number claim they've heard terrifying sounds. This is normally the sound of muffled screaming. One person who called the number posted on a forum saying it was like dialing hell itself. As if this number could not get creepier, it's also said to be cursed. If you hang up, these scary noises will of course end, but you will then be cursed. It's said that many people who call this number pass away within a week of calling, whereas others believe this is merely a coincidence. It's also said that the movie The Ring was based off this phone number. 08888888888. This is a Bulgarian phone number which is said to be cursed. That sounds far-fetched, but it's had lots of mainstream news coverage. The number is owned by the cell phone provider Mobitel, and the first owner of this number was the CEO of Mobitel. That was until he passed away from an illness at age 48. But his passing was always suspicious. Many believed that a business rival had taken him out using radioactive poison. Next, the phone number went to a Bulgarian mafia boss. This man, named Konstantin Dimitrov, was soon taken out. Just 2 years after getting the number, he was the victim of a drive-by. The phone number then went to a corrupt businessman, and much like the mafia boss, he was also gunned down. By then, many people had realized the creepy coincidence with this phone number. So the phone number's owner, Mobitel, took the number offline. This was so that no one else could get caught up with the curse. This sounds crazy and paranormal, but it really did happen. If you call the number today, you will get a message saying the phone number is no longer within network coverage. If you're superstitious or scared of this number, it may be best not to call it even though it's no longer active. Some believe that by merely calling this deactivated number, you could be cursed as well. 120-740-42604. I'm sure you're familiar with the 2013 horror movie Carrie. It was based on the very creepy novel by Stephen King. When the movie was first shown in theaters, a number appeared at the end of the movie. The number 120-740-42604 allowed you to call Carrie. Carrie being the very scary girl from the movie. When you called this number, it would instantly hang up on you. But then a new number would start calling you. Over time, you would actually get up to 3 calls back. The first call would be loud screaming, the second call would be a creepy singing woman, and the third and final call would be a creepy whisper. Some say that the number is active and you can still call it, while others say it no longer works. But you can find many YouTube videos of people calling this very scary number and being creeped out. 121-633-31810. In 2007, one man was at a 9 Inch Nails concert. He went to use the bathroom, but inside one of these stools he found a USB. When he got home, he plugged in the USB. The only file on it was a single sound file. The sound file was nothing too creepy, it sounded like crickets chirping. But he was intrigued, so he looked into it further. Eventually he ran the sound file through a spectrograph program, and when he did this, this number appeared. When you call this number, audio is played of a US wiretap. The wiretap features a woman calling her mother from the bathroom of a bar. She also screams for help about a maniac with a knife.
Hello? Mommy! Mommy! Mommy, are you there? Oh my god, I'm at the club and you may rush him. I'm gonna die! Oh my god, I'm gonna die! Mia, what's going on?
It's incredibly creepy and scared a lot of people who called the number. Some believe that this was a marketing stunt by the band 9 Inch Nails, but others say that people have made this up to cover up the true nature of this phone number. Whether this was a promotion by 9 Inch Nails or a real-life mysterious phone number, it's very creepy to call either way. Red numbers. In 2007, many people in Pakistan began being called by red numbers. There were 5 phone numbers, which are on screen now, that would be calling people randomly. These numbers would show up on people's phone screens in bright red. If you picked up a call from one of these numbers, you would hear a very high frequency signal. It said that this would cause brain hemorrhage and you could pass away. This story began to spread all over Pakistan, and eventually even the government had to step in. They stated that the red numbers are not real and will not take your life. But then more people began reporting this happening in Asia, the Middle East, and also Africa. This was especially prevalent in countries like Nigeria. To this day, no one's entirely sure who's behind these red numbers, or if they really were calling people or not. Personally, I suggest not calling any of these numbers. But if you do and you survive, then let me know how it goes. 630-296-7536. This phone number belongs to a company named Boothworld. According to the company, they specialize in remodeling people's lives. One man called this number and heard a recording of a woman saying that his phone number had been logged, and he would soon be speaking with a representative to schedule a remodeling. After this, nothing happened, so he hung up. A few hours later, he got another phone call. It was from a different number, so he simply let it go to voicemail. But later, when he played the voicemail, he was incredibly creeped out. The voicemail included his full name and address, which he did not give to the phone number, and they were now ready to schedule a remodeling appointment. It's not known how they get your personal information, or exactly what Boothworld Industries really does. One thing's for sure, it's a very creepy phone number that I recommend you do not call. 20202020. This phone number has been known as a very creepy number you should never call since the 1970s. It is a number coming from the UK. Many years ago in the UK, there were telephone boxes everywhere in the street. But in those telephone boxes, there was one number that you could call for free. If you ever called this number, a woman would reply with a very creepy voice. She would say, help me, Susie's dying." She would say this over and over again on repeat. Seeing as most telephone boxes no longer work, it's not known whether this number is active or not. Or maybe this phone number still works, and if you call it, you will hear the creepy Susie's dying message. 1000000. The story behind this phone number comes from China. It's said that if you call this phone number, a male voice will answer. The voice tells you that if you do not call 15 people and tell them to call that number, then you will pass away. It's kind of like those old chain emails that used to be popular many years ago, only this time it's done by telephone. I seriously doubt that if you call this and don't spread the number that you'll pass away, but either way it creeps out a lot of people. And if you're superstitious, I do not recommend calling this number. 666-666-6666. Everyone knows that the number 666 is the sign of the devil, but there have been many cases of people calling or texting this number and having creepy things happen to them. Some people said when they called the number it hung up, but it would later call them back at night with creepy static sounds. Others said they got strange warnings about things they were doing at that exact moment. Others said that they did not get a call back for a long time after calling the number. But eventually they did, and they heard very eerie, heavy breathing. I'm not exactly sure what would happen to you if you called this number, but I strongly advise against it just in case. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment down below which was the scariest phone number you should never call. If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. But as always, thanks for watching. There are some more videos you may like on screen right now. Leave a like if you got scared, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.